Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 270 of Sonic Boom TV. This is the episode where I lose subscribers and lose friends, and everyone has something bad to say about me at the end, and I really don't care. But you guys got to stop saying Grails for everything that you want. It's not being used correctly, and I'm tired of it. The internet is crazy with people. Hey, I just got in my 5 Grails. You can't have 5 Grails. So let me explain. It's Easter Sunday. Imagine that, talking about Grails on Easter Sunday. Last week or so, my friend Steve from Rock and Metal Invasion did a show about Grails. The same day I was thinking about doing this, so I put it off, and then I somehow ended up on Easter Sunday doing this video. And then my friend Dan did his little video this week as well about Grails. But here's the thing. The term Grail comes from either one of two places, both related. One, the Holy Grail is the chalice or cup that was used at the Last Supper that Jesus gave, turned into his blood, and everybody drank from it. And then it was as well used to capture his blood from when he was put on the cross and stabbed and whatever. So there's that, and then there's the King Arthur thing, where the search for the Holy Grail. There's that movie that was super funny in the 80s, and that whole story. But the thing is, there can only be one. So it's not just records that this term is used, and people use it for comic books, sports cards, anything, Pokemon, anything that's collectible. People say, oh, that's a Grail, because it was either hard to get or, one of one or whatever. But you cannot have multiple things that you refer to as a Grail, because the Grail is the top of the line. There's nothing better than that Grail. There's nothing that will ever top it. It's just that you don't have it that you're saying it's a Grail. Because, oh, I don't have this, I couldn't get it. But why didn't you get it? Because the internet is a wonderful thing, and you can find just about anything you're looking for. Now, there are one-of-one things out there, but usually they're for sale. So let's just say most things can be found on the internet. Now, the price might not be what you're looking for. So it's not that you couldn't find it, it's that you couldn't afford it at the time, or you didn't want to pay what somebody's asking for. So let's just say you see a record that you want, and I'm going to pull out some just to show what things that would be Grails to me, and there's only a few I pulled out, but they're not Grails, because I don't know. I don't have anything that is better than everything. There's always something that can be, you can just swap in and out. So, the term should be like your favorites, or, this is an important record to me. Because for me, I don't look for originals of anything. I mean, I'll take them if I can get them. But if there's a reissue, it's the music that is important, and the packaging, not so much. So if I have, let's say, like this right here, material issue. I don't know if this was put out in the 90s on vinyl, but this reissue came out, and that's good enough for me. That's all I need is that. I wanted a record of it, and it doesn't matter which version of the record I get. And people, I think, spend a little bit too much time trying to find their Grails. Now, you can have, I believe, the way I see it, you can have a Grail. Like, you might say, oh, my favorite Iron Maiden album, whatever one it may be, some rare version of it, that's my Grail. And you've got it. Nothing beats it. Nothing. That's the one thing you got. It's yours. But when you say, oh, I just got in 10 records and 9 of them are Grails. Well, no, they're not, because, they're just 9 records you got. So, for me, I tried to never say Grails because it doesn't make any sense to me. Well, how you can have, so many things when there's only one Grail in the history of the things that they're based on. It's like the Holy Grail or whatever. There's only one of those, only one. And so once you find it, you've got it. And if it gives you powers or if it does, religious things for you, I don't know, but that's what it is. So when I think of records that are hard to find, it's not necessarily that I find them hard to find online. I don't like to buy a lot of stuff online. I do buy online, but like Whatnot and eBay, that kind of stuff. But I don't go to like a lot of different searching places for that. And if I can't find it in the wild, like at a record store or something, then it's just something hard to find. It's not that I can't find it. If I want to put the effort into it and the money behind it, which I don't always have, then you can. So here's just two by one band. Never thought I would own this is an original Faster Pussycat, and this is a reprint. These are two really important albums to me. There's not much I give better as far as the 80s glam metal stuff. There's not much better than this, except for one thing that I'm going to show right now after this, and that's Britney Fox. So I got both of these this year, or last year, I guess, and I didn't pay too much for them. I mean, this one was a repress, so this was a brand new album. I never had to even look for this one. It just came up and I bought it. But these, this one I found on Whatnot by total accident. It was like, and I think I only paid like $35 for it, maybe 30, because I know I had a coupon. But I always thought this record would be a lot more expensive than it is, and it's not that expensive. But I never thought I would have it. I never thought of it as a Grail though, because I had the MP3s, I had the cassette. Don't know if I have the CD for this one, but I had the MP3, so I must have had the CD. At some point, I just can't find it. But anyway, so it's something I really wanted. And this one, I paid, I think, $120 for, which is the most I've ever paid for a record. And that's only because this is it's a promo version. So, and I got it from a buddy who was selling it for even more, but he gave me a deal. So, those things are things I really wanted, but I already had the music. It's like I had either CD, cassette, MP3s, or whatever. It wasn't killing me to own those things on vinyl. I wanted them, of course, but it's a Grail? No. Is it an important record? Yes. But people put things that are like, usually people's Grails are the most expensive things, or the ones that are expensive and hard to find, because I got plenty of records that are hard to find. They ain't worth anything, but you just can't find them because there were so few put out. But one of the most important records of my life is something that I just found a copy of in a store not too long ago. This is the first record that I ever bought myself. This is the newer one. The one, my original's got a crack in it, and that's why I needed a new one. But Rock 80. Is it a K-Tel? I think it is. Yeah, it's a K-Tel record. I remember walking to a store that was a couple miles from my house. I thought it was a lot further when I was a kid, but a couple years ago I kind of did a map quest thing, or not map quest, but Google Maps, to figure out where I came from, and it was only like 2 miles at the most. But I walked to this store it used to be called K&B. People in Louisiana know what that is. And they used to sell all kinds of crazy stuff in there. Oh, something in my but they had records, and this was the one I wanted, and it's got Gary Newman, Pretenders, Joe Jackson, Pat Benatar, Blondie, Cheap Trick, The Police, Ramones. Who else is on here? I think Pat Benatar is on here twice. The Knack, I don't know if I said them. So it was a really good, like hits of the time, but it was the first thing I ever owned. So this is like one of the most important records to me for no reason besides that. So is this a Grail? Because this is worth like $7-8, I think. I don't know. Maybe I paid I paid $7.99 for this one. And it's in much better condition than my original one, which I still have and I'm never going to get rid of, even though it's got a crack in it. But yeah, so that. And then there's things that come out and people refer to as Grails as well, and it's just because they were never available, or not available in your country. So this one that just came out for Record Store Day, I really, really wanted it, but if I would have missed it, it would have, it would have been okay. I wouldn't have been like, oh my God, I gotta have that. I'm gonna pay the ridiculous amount of money. So that would be Dada Puzzle. This is one of the best '90s albums out there, I think, and this was only available on vinyl in, I think, Spain and Brazil for some reason. I can understand maybe Spain doing a European pressing, but Brazil, I don't know. I don't know what their music scene is, besides metal. But this was there, but it was never in the United States. So they put it out for Record Store Day, and it was my number one to get, and I got it, luckily. But had I missed it, I'm not going to turn around and pay $150. I think it's going for like $150 now. Is the high end on Discogs. The normal price was 40 something or 50. I think it was like 50. I don't know, but a high price. But it was something I really wanted. So, but would I call it a Grail? No. Would I call it one of the most important albums of the '90s? Yes. But there's plenty of albums that are of the '90s that are important. You could say Pearl Jam's 10, Nirvana's Nevermind, Soundgarden, Bad Motor Finger, a lot of stuff. And those were just grunge albums. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that could be, favorites or best of or whatever. But Grail, no, because Grail makes it above everything. And music is too varied of, a playing field. I mean, there's all kind of genres. There's all kind of different styles, and even like if you say, oh, heavy metal's my thing, where do you go with that? Because there's so much different kind of heavy metal. There's thrash, glam, speed metal, black metal, whatever, doom metal. There's so many different subgenres that how can you put things above other things without like this category, is that better than this category? I don't know, can't do it for me. But another one from the '90s, Hum. I just got this not too long ago. It's a repressing. I've been wanting this for a long time. I had it on CD when it first came out, and I don't think it was available on vinyl at all. And then one day I just happened to be in the record store and I find it, and it was like, oh wow, I found this. I wanted it, and yeah, you do get that feeling of, oh my God, this is something I really wanted. And I can't believe I have it. But again, not a Grail. It's something that I really wanted, and really would do anything for. Not anything for, but you know what I'm saying. But using the term Grail is very, very strange to me. To use it for more than one thing. Like I've got 5 records coming this week. Hopefully this week, if the mail doesn't screw it up. Last time I ordered something from Florida, got to New Orleans, and went all the way back to Florida. And now it's back in my town, which is just a couple blocks away, so hopefully it comes tomorrow. But that's not the Grails. I have 5 Grails, though, or things that people would say are Grails because of how important they are, and how rare they are. Well, 3 of them are rare. The other 2 are kind of readily available. But this one right here is another one I got on the heavy metal thing. It's Every Mother's Nightmare. This is a record that I've never seen in any format in a store. Saw it online a few times, almost bought it, but I bought it for my bud. I think I paid $80 for this one. This is another one that I paid a lot more than I normally would pay, but it's also a promo copy. If you want to see that right there. But Every Mother's Nightmare had the hit song Love Can Make You Blind. And they had, I think, another one that was a minor hit. That one itself was kind of a minor hit. But I loved it. Could never find it on CD. Could never find it on record. Could never find it on cassette. So, some would say, oh, well, that's the Grail right there because you can't find that anywhere. Well, that as the internet came about, I just look it up and I can find it. But I didn't want to pay for it. I didn't want to pay that price for it at the time. And I just happened to have the money. Well, I had a person that had this, and they allowed me to save the money to get it before I could get this, along with the Britney Fox. But this isn't the best album I've ever heard. It just was a very hard album for me to find in my life, and so the what I call it a grail, because it's not better than almost anything. I mean, there's like 3 really good songs, and then the rest are okay, but it was one that was very hard to find for me, and I finding it on vinyl and having it to be a promo copy was just bonus, because the first person I knew that had it, had that version, and so he helped me out. He let me wait a couple weeks to get the money, and then I bought it from him. So what I'm just trying to say is that it's a term. Grails is a term that really shouldn't be used unless you're only going to use it once. If you say, every mother's nightmare, that's my grail, that's it. You don't come back and say, oh, Offspring or Material Issue or Megadeth or whatever, oh, those are grails too. Well, no, they can't be. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not the same issue as the vinyl versus vinyls thing. That one is just people changing the term, and using the word incorrectly. But this is something like completely different. This is like making something that can only be one into multiple things to satisfy your own needs, I guess. If that makes any sense? I don't know. I don't know if this is coming out the way I wanted it to, but I'm just saying, don't say it. Don't say grail unless you mean it, because it's the one, So I mean, that's the only thing I can say. It's the one thing, and if you have multiple things that are grails, I don't think you have any grails at all, because as soon as you get them, you're going to be like, oh wow, I got my grail, and then you put it down and you forget about it. It's no longer your grail, because you got to find something else. Oh, I got to find a new grail because I already got that one. So was it a grail to begin with, or was it just something you really wanted? That's the question. So you guys can send me hate mail or whatever. I don't care. But if you happen to find this cassette Radio Blue Murder on vinyl, that's a high-end record for me. So if you find it, I would like it. But it's not a grail. But my bud Dan from Off the Charts, I think he's got this one. And Steve definitely has this one. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to come on and rant a little bit, because I don't usually do this kind of thing. But stop saying grails. It just doesn't make any sense. That's it, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.